right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. You can find
Mm-hmm.
us everywhere you find podcasts. Just search the Black Guy Who Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We love those.
We
The
do.
the official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport
What about?
and bullet ball. Extreme, extreme, extreme. And we can just go ahead and get straight into the show. I feel like this is a more
Okay.
informal episode. I do have a couple things. Number one, I did get you flowers for Valentine's Day, but they're not getting that till tomorrow.
They normally get hit. Normally, when you order me something, it's like a day or two early. That's
Right.
hilarious.
So normally I tell like 1-800 flowers or somebody, I'm like, hey, can you deliver this on the 14th, even though I'm ordering it on the 10th? And they say, yeah, we got you. Give it to her on the 11th. And then it ends up fucking up Valentine's Day because you get the flowers too early. I know you don't really care that much, but I'm just saying I was trying to get it to you on the day of. So this time I thought I was being smart. And I said, okay, Valentine's Day is Tuesday. I'll wait till Monday to order. That way they can't deliver them early. You
Right.
know, they have no choice to deliver it on the day of. So I get to work today and I get a phone call, and it's somebody whose the second language is English, who's clearly reading the script,
Mm.
not very well, who you can hear her children in the background yelling and
Working
screaming
from
and shit.
home.
And she was just kind of telling me that the flowers were not going to be able to be delivered because the maximum deliveries have been reached for the local store. So they was like, we'll deliver not even them same flowers, a different kind of flowers. And she said they'd come today. And so I got home from work and I said, oh, you know what? I'll just wait till Karen gets her flowers. Because rather than, we could possibly get interrupted during the show with the
Mm-hmm.
delivery. And then it was taking so long. I actually took a nap and I woke up and I checked my email and it said, oh, the flowers are coming tomorrow. So there you go. Happy Valentine's Day, baby. I love
Thank
you.
you. I
I
love
know
you
you
too.
don't. I know you don't really care, but just let you know what happened.
I
It
didn't know if
was
you was going to send anything or not.
no, especially with me being up here, I can't like go to the store and get stuff or
Right.
anything. So I just
You
want to
know
make sure
me.
you
I
know
would I
you
would have been
love.
fine either way, but it's just hilarious whenever you send me something. I know you tried to send me some stuff on like my birthday, and not only did they send it, they sent it twice. You was like, you got it on the wrong day. They was like, oh, let's send it again. The same thing.
Right. I'm like, you could have just gave me my money back or something, or just I
Right.
didn't even want anything once it got there. It was like y'all fucked up, but that's it. And it just, it's really on me for continuing to use 1-800 flowers. I mean, they'll never sponsor the show, but I just gotta
And
apparently
you know
gotta get
what's so
somebody
funny?
else.
My experience with them has been nothing but great.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Well, my shit has been fucked up. So,
Ah.
but whatever, and then the other thing that happened, I had a $10 coupon from Best Buy that was gonna expire.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was like gonna expire on the day of, and I literally just was like, I don't want to lose this $10.
Right.
So I just started scrolling looking for anything. So I bought a Google Nest Hub, I think is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it's got like a speaker on it. It's like a screen where you can use it like for a clock, a
Mm-hmm.
calendar. You
I
can
seen it before.
stream Netflix and Spotify through it and
Mhm, it's
all
real
kinds of
neat.
cool stuff.
Mhm,
So
you can hook up the, temperature thing to it.
yeah, so I guess when I get back home, we can see about hooking it up. You can even follow recipes on the screen while you cook it.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't know that.
yeah, and then you can use YouTube through it and everything. It's a pretty
Mm,
cool thing. I don't have as much use for it here.
right.
Basically I'll just have it set up like a clock type of situation, and maybe if I
Mhm.
want to listen to a speaker, like listen to Spotify or something through a speaker, I'll do that. But yeah, I thought I know you like those little gadgets and stuff, and I know
Mhm. I
you'll
do.
probably figure out a bunch of stuff to do with it that I don't know how yet, but just letting you know that I got it. Um,
Yay! I've seen those before, and I've been looking at them. I thought I've been thinking about getting one for a while, but I was kind of like you. I really didn't see the purpose of it,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. With kind of the things that we do
Yeah.
and shit like that. I was like, well, we already got enough devices that listen to us. That's just another device that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
listen to everything we say.
It is
But
scary.
right, another reason why I hadn't bought one. I was like, well, Siri always listening and trying to come on and shit. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
it's just another device that's gonna be listening to what's happening in the house. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest reason why I was like, I don't know now. But
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff when it's so weird and scary and funny, but it's like as you're loading it all up and getting it ready and stuff, logging into everything, it's like all these fucking warnings and all this shit. It's like all these, like, you sure you want to let this AI hear everything you say? Meanwhile, you can't use it if it can't listen. So it's like, of
right.
course. And then they got a switch on the back where you can turn the microphone off manually, and it'll say microphone off or microphone on. But I'm like, that's just a computer telling me that. It could be lying. It could be,
Come on. It could
I'm
be
just
lying.
trusting it. Just basically you gave me a switch, but it could be a placebo switch. Like,
You flip that switch and be like Michael Jackson on Thriller, turn around going,
right. And I
gotcha.
haven't, we don't own the apartment we're in, so I don't know how you do the light thing. Like,
Right.
it sounds like you have to have a smart home and replace some stuff with the lights. I
Yeah,
think we
and
just have a
I don't
smart
think I
thermostat.
don't think those lights would connect with it. But yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, you could connect your lights, you could connect your TV, you could
right.
connect your the Nest. You because like I said, I've done
Mhm.
a little bit of research on it. You could connect
I knew
a
you would
lot of
have.
different shit to it. So basically you would talk to it and it just literally just does shit for you.
Yeah.
For people like me that's lazy, and be like, look, Google, just do it.
Hmm.
Just do some shit. And it'd be like, I got you, dog. And I already have come to the conclusion that when the AI turns on us, everything, the temperature gonna go crazy, everything just gonna crash, and they're just gonna find me in here just burnt to death, frozen. Because it's like, I've had enough of you, bitches. Just go, and won't nobody know what happened to me. It's just gonna be. And I'm content with that. I just know that's how it's gonna be.
I had to hook the mic you were using. I had to hook that up because that other one was just, the swivel thing was too broke. So I'm buying a new one that should be getting here tomorrow. And then I bought like a wall charger thing for my iPhone cord, and of course it's the wrong kind of connection and all
Oh no,
this.
what happened?
Oh, I just bought the wrong thing, I think. So I gotta like return that shit. I don't know. It looked right and everything, but that's the thing about buying on Amazon. Sometimes, and this is my fault, right? Sometimes you just look at something and it's just like, um, you're like, oh, okay, that's what I need because it looked close enough or whatever. And then
Mhm.
do you look? Did it get here? You be like, of course, there's one little thing off.
Yes,
Like
yes.
Amazon for me, like I don't, like if I need something, it'll be like it'll be something like okay, I would like to buy a um spoon for pho. It'll be like, do you want to buy 18 spoons for pho?
Right. You be like, no, bitch, I don't need 45 spoons.
We can get it there the next day. We can get it there this afternoon. I'm like, no, I just need one
I don't need
spoon.
economy size.
Right. It's like, well, nah, I mean, if you need six, I'm like, I need one. You need seven? I need one. And
You
then
need
finally,
three? It's like you
right.
need two, it's everything but one.
And then finally you get to like, you compromise and get to like two or something at the scrolling forever. And then it's like,
Mhm.
this shit ain't gonna arrive for 17 weeks because it's coming straight from China. It's like, well, hold on. Okay, so let me pick something else. And then you finally get something that seems close enough, and then it gets here and you like, these are spoons for chicken noodle soup. Like these are
Right? You're
not
like,
our
this is not
spoons.
even what I wanted.
Like,
Yeah,
why
so
did you even describe it as this? It's like you like lose perspective from scrolling so long.
yes, and I've had it too where I see something like really cheap and I'm looking at it and then I happen to look at it, open it up, and it'd be like, what you're looking for isn't what you need. It's like a piece to it.
Hmm.
But when they show a picture, they'll show everything. But when you read the description, it'd be like let's say you want to like something to go up on the wall for a picture.
Hmm.
But when you look, it'll show you like the whole picture frame.
Right.
But they was like, no, we only selling put like this. This instead of it being $45, it is $9.99 because what we actually selling you is the piece to go on to the wall, not the picture frame included. And you're like, well, bitch, why didn't you tell me that? So sometimes
Right.
I have to look at the picture and actually read the description sometimes to actually see,
I
okay,
know, and
what
I
is this?
do, I'm normally good about sussing it out and all that stuff, but like, I don't know if it's like a fatigue thing or just just players fuck up or just some of these
Yeah,
listings are misleading. But like,
I think
I
they
say
are.
once out of every like 20 purchases, there's just something where it gets in you like. If I had went to a physical store, I wouldn't have bought this at all because I would have been able to look at it and go, no,
Yes.
I this like for example, I had to buy one of these things to hold the mic, a shock mount, and it was like I have a large condenser mic, and it was like, for large condenser mics. I'm like, okay, cool, get it, open it, too big. I'm like, well, how was I supposed to know it was that large? It's like, 'cause it's
How
not
did
like I was,
it's too big? Shit, how big do they make these bitches?
and I knew it was my fault because at the end of the day, what really happens is I should have Googled or searched my specific mic, how many measured in millimeters, how many millimeters it was, and all this shit. And I didn't. And then
Right?
I
Because
should have
you
Googled
sometimes
that.
like that's too much
And
fucking work.
yeah, I just was like eyeballing it, like, yeah, it's close enough. And of course, that's not what happened. But yeah, I just thought it was
or
funny.
I went up there to the place we went to before that kind of shuffles you in and out because trust somebody
Mhm.
there would have known.
Oh, you talking about the Guitar Center type thing or what?
Yeah, the
Oh,
place
oh
me
no,
and
you
you went
talking?
to up
Oh
there
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I forget the name of
because
that
that's a
place. That
physical
place is
store.
awesome.
So yeah, so you could have went
Yeah.
in there. You probably could have, but like I'm looking for this. They hun, they trying to get your ass in and out. They'll put you in the right direction. This right here. Here you go, sir.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they would have. Yeah. Or I just would have had enough information on
Yeah,
there
B and
or
H.
listen
That's
or
the name
whatever.
of it.
Yeah, B&H. Yeah, they were good. But yeah, that's it. For my adventures. You ready to get into the show stuff?
We can.
All right. Let me play some filler music real quick. Some of these infrared crypto beats. All right. 2023's most sinful states in America. What do
Okay.
you think is number one?
Who do I think is number one? Oh, that's a great question.
Hmm. Or I guess if yeah, you guess who's number one, and I'll tell you where they are on the list.
Who do I think is number one? It's definitely one of these one got to be one of the Republican states. So I am going to go either Florida or Texas,
All right.
possibly
Well,
Louisiana, but one of
oh,
them.
I mean, these aren't bad guesses. Texas is number 6.
Okay,
Florida is number 4,
okay.
and Louisiana is number 3.
Oh shit! I'm trying to tell you, them people that be like so gun ho against everything, you be like, hey dog, you harping on this too hard.
All right. Well, number 1 is Nevada because probably Las Vegas and Reno.
Ah, right, and they like brothels and things like that. Ain't that the only state?
Um, I
I'm not
think
sure,
so.
but I think
I
they're the
think
only
so, but
state,
I'm not.
right?
I'm not sure.
Not sure
And
either.
I don't want Sean to write up here trying to correct us with
Mm-mm.
all the states where you can have brothels. So let's just say we don't know and save him a comment.
Oh,
That's the
I
thing.
know I don't know. You know. I just be off
I
the cuff
know.
over here.
I mean, I know the audience. Most of the audience seems to know, but you say something and then I don't like start yelling at you to correct you or something. Now we both in trouble. So let's just say we both don't know,
No, I don't want to get
and
in trouble.
we just gonna move on. Let's just all move on together as a family. Number 2, California, 57.87.
Yeah.
On the Wallet Hub Vice Index, wallethub.com is where I got this from.
And I wonder, did California go down because of the porn industry? Because in one period of time, the porn industry was really, really big there.
Hmm.
And people just rent houses and all that stuff. So I wonder, with a lot of the rules and regulations and just it being so expensive,
Hmm.
is that might be why because listen to what you're saying, I can see them actually being number one and them just falling down just for that. Because
Well,
we
they
talking about,
are number one in lust. So I think that may,
okay,
because
that
like
makes
they
up,
take each
okay,
of the sins and they measure them. I don't know how they're getting these numbers, but in lust they're number one,
that
which
makes
makes
sense.
me think, that's due to like some porn stuff. And
Hmm.
what's interesting is that Florida is where a lot of the porn is gone, but they're number seven in lust according to this thing. Like that's interesting. You'd think it would be like one and like they'd be neck and
Higher.
neck.
Hmm.
Um,
They
but
better enjoy it
yeah,
while it
Karen.
lasts.
Hmm?
I said they better enjoy it while it lasts. A governor imitation of Trump down there might just start making it where they can't be there no more.
Who knows? I don't think I understand this is a weirdo. I don't even think
Oh
he's a
no,
religious Puritan. I think he's just a
no.
power hungry, mad bigot, and I don't think that he would stop something like that. I think he's fine with people like showing porn to the kids, but not them showing that people can be gay. So,
All right,
um, at any rate, though, I just thought this is interesting. North Carolina, where you think we at on the list?
12, 15.
12 or 15? We are at 12 exactly. Now, how did you
Wow,
know
good,
that?
great, good guess.
I know that's a great guess. How'd you know?
Oh,
When
I
did
didn't
you?
know.
Oh,
I
okay.
but I figured out we were a little bit lower,
Mhm.
than some of the other states.
New York is number 10. South
Mm.
Carolina is actually number 9. Maybe they measuring slavery. I don't know. I
They
mean,
might be.
maybe slavery is a big sin. I don't know. Oh man, but yeah, I just thought this is just like a little cute thing to talk about. We'll get it off the screen now. It's not safe out here. Somebody finally did something that I thought would happen a long time ago, but I guess it's
What's that?
just now getting bad enough. Somebody robbed the Girl Scouts.
What? Why you robbing the Girl Scouts? You don't
I
get a bunch of
mean,
coins.
I've been
They're gonna
wondering.
have to go cash only. They're gonna have to go
Well,
cashless
cash
then.
only is how you get robbed.
I mean, not cash only. They're gonna have to go cashless.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know a lot of them have switched to cashless, kind of like, or at
Hmm.
least giving you a lot of different options. But yeah, I've been wondering when somebody was gonna roll up on these niggas because like they be
They
out
have
here
a
on that drug
lot of
dealer shit.
money.
Like, just the way that they do the transaction is very much reminds me of like a trap house situation. And I
Hmm.
was wondering when somebody gonna be the Omar, the Girl Scout cookies, and start being, running up on them like it come up off that bag,
That might be why a lot of them standing like in front of like big public places, like you know what I'm saying. So something like that happened, you have like witnesses or some shit like that, because ain't nothing
I,
you can do when it happens.
yeah. But it happened around 1:50 p.m. on a Sunday in Shady Grove, Montgomery County. This is in Maryland. They said that a parent told police that while her child was selling the Girl Scout cookies, she noticed a man lurking, sitting on a bench nearby for about 15-20 minutes. That man, the victim said, eventually walked up to the table, grabbed the cash box, and ran away.
Okay, why is the cash box just out? Like that's a great
I mean, it's
question.
always just out. At least every time I've been to one of these, they have a little table. They give you change right there. Well, that's the cash.
Okay, okay. Versus a parent that like, no, I'm gonna strap this shit to me.
I mean, I guess if you want to get killed for some Girl Scout cash, that's a good way to do it. Just strap it to you and let you die. You know,
I mean,
I
put it
think
like this: I'd be more than happy to give it to you. Don't get me wrong, but you would reduce somebody just run up and running away with it.
I just love that you have all these plans and stuff. But the truth is, people believe that the Girl Scouts are good, are just not gonna get robbed because they little girls.
True,
That's it.
I can see that.
Nobody is
Yeah,
expecting somebody to come up and strong arm rob a bunch of little girls in front of a grocery store in broad daylight, being all cute and
right.
shit. And guess what? It's wolf time out here in
They
these streets.
will.
It's wolf time. Okay, eggs is costing more than Girl Scout cookies. Okay, motherfuckers is over it.
Yeah,
You got
that's
to
why
watch your back.
a lot of them like shit. Just do the shit online and depend on the parent. You might actually sell more cookies doing the shit online than you would out in the streets. It's safer.
Yeah, a lot of it is moved to online. That's what Mike B does. But I think listen, he wanted to get his armed robbery badge and he got it.
He
You
sure
know,
did.
he said, you know, break yourself, and he dosed it on out of there.
Yes, he did.
There's a thin mint line between, desperation and
Yeah, it is.
he, he, they said, "What kind of cookies you want?" He was like, "Give me some more." Oh man, but yeah, they took him out of here. They said they don't have any surveillance footage of him
Of
running
course
away.
not.
Police said the parents did not want to press charges if the suspect was found. She just wants her money back. Well, let me tell you what, sis, you're gonna have to press them charges.
If you want your money back, you sure enough gonna have to press
That money
charges.
is gone.
That
Okay.
money is that
You
money
smoke.
is in the IB somewhere,
Hmm.
he done bought something hot with it, off like done fell off a
Hmm.
truck or something. Your money gone, boo boo.
Yeah, like you can't even, what kind of unrealistic expectation is that?
Right.
Um, and I didn't see where Maryland was on the sinful states, but I feel like they should move up a little bit because robbing Girl
Girl
Scout
Scouts.
seems pretty out there.
That definitely bump you up the sinful list.
Yeah, I think that
Or
might I
just
think
doing
that
that,
might
that need
count.
to go up 1 or 2 spots.
All right. So yeah, it's just it's just it's sad to see. You know, you really
Oh,
didn't
Girl
think.
Scouts, we just selling cookies, and like you say, people just don't think that most people ain't gonna bother them anyway. They're like, oh, that Girl Scout selling cookies. Who gonna fuck
Right.
with them? And that's
Right.
probably why they so casual and shit with it, because a lot of them, depend on the parents. Y'all, they've been doing this shit for years.
Yep. So you know what they always say, when God gives you lemon ups, make lemonade, and
Oh no.
that's what's gonna have to happen in this situation. If reelected, Trump reportedly wants to bring back firing squads and televised executions. Um, I, I don't want to take him lightly because I think he's very dangerous and shit. And I think
Mhm.
stuff he says that is ridiculous is what normally gets reported in the papers and stuff. And in
Correct.
last time that helped him get to office, although I think this time people probably understand how much more dangerous he can be than last time, like liberal people that took it all as a joke. But I
Right.
feel like people are starting to slip back into that he's entertainment type of situation.
Nothing
Or
entertainment about him.
yeah,
Nothing
and
entertaining.
so hmm,
I said nothing. I said entertainment. I mean, there's nothing entertaining about him, and I have never looked at him as a form of entertainment.
yeah,
And it's just one of those things where a lot of times these quote unquote liberal people get on my nerves, because it's like, bitch, stay consistent. Just don't fall back into your old ways just because, quote unquote, nothing's happening right now. And people have such a short term memory, but I'm Pepper's Farm. I never forget, and I will never forget how I felt when he first got elected. Fuck him. I never forget, and I will keep my same energy. I'm not changing. There's nothing funny. There's nothing amusing. There's nothing ha ha ha. Nothing funny about that nigga.
yeah, and well, the thing I keep thinking is like I don't want him to get a ton of media coverage, obviously, and it's probably for the best that he's not right now, But if he's doing these rallies or whatever, I'm curious as to what the crowds are. Like,
Right.
is he still drawing a lot of people and the media's just decided not to cover it? Because that could be very dangerous if that he's amassing this movement and we're just not tracking it anymore.
Agreed.
Or is it like the opposite where they're giving him these headlines as if he's like got all these people that got his back right now, when a lot of people have either not not moved
Separate
on, but it's
themselves.
like it's not as supportive of his current re-election campaign that he's got. And I don't know how you even keep track of that, but it's I know a lot of his stuff is coming out from screenshots of that Truth Social that he's on, because he's not really using Twitter or anything.
Mm-mm.
Um, so I do wonder about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where some of them might not flat out denounce him. They're just separating themselves from him.
Hmm.
But trust, if something happens and he gets back in the lead, they'll flip again. Like
Yeah,
there's no loyalty in any of these people. He's a quote unquote loser right now. And so that's why they're separating themselves from him. It's not that they don't believe in his cause. It's not that they don't support him. It's like, okay, you're losing, so I'm gonna kind of go on and do my own thing. But if you rah it back, I'll be here again supporting you like I did the first time.
yeah, I can see that. Also, he's just like not um he's under investigation and all this shit too. So I can see some GOP people kind of like wanting to move on, because what if this nigga end up going to prison in the next year or some change, and
Hmm.
you don't really, you can't really focus on him running or not, you know. So but yeah, it's just, I don't know, this has been an interesting time with him. All right, let's move on to some other news. Let's see, how about we do some LGBTQ news. Boom.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news. We're trying to take us down, but we still around. We legging. We're trying to still shine, but we on the ride. We lit. But you can't do what we thought to do. We lit. Black guy, tips. LGBTQ news.
All right, LGBTQ news, talking about our LGBTQ family and the issues and
Ain't
topics that affect them. It's mostly trash, if we're gonna be honest. It's
it though?
not really, it's very rarely good news, but we gotta talk about things. Okay, the first one is the Church of England refuses to back same-sex marriage. That's right. The decision followed 5 years of debate and consultation on the church position on sexuality. It is expected to be outlined in a report to the church's National Assembly. Wait, did we cover this already? I feel
I
like I
think
covered
we
it
did.
already.
I remember us talking about it
Yeah,
and
because I
how
was
we said
like,
five. How we was
yeah,
like 5 years. Y'all
y'all was
decision
gonna
was
say no
already
the whole
made.
time. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
that
I think
one.
I was thinking this sounds familiar.
Yeah, okay. Students say Florida school play shut down over "Don't Say Gay." Yo, Ron DeSantis and them are doing work down south, and they are getting rid of like all kinds of books. I think Roberto Clemente book is all out of a classroom right now, and they're doing this thing where they're like, we got to reevaluate the book. But essentially, anything that brings up gender, sexuality,
Race.
race, they're like, this is woke stuff that we need to investigate. I don't know even what the investigation entails. I don't even know how long they supposed to take. There
They just
are
it's just
teachers who have,
indefinitely. They just pulling it off, and they just people have such short term memory that they'll think people been and forgot about it, and so technically some of this shit they don't even have to ban. They just don't bring it back. You know what I'm saying? And people just let the shit slide.
and there are teachers who are so afraid they've just taken the books off their shelves.
Right, because they don't want those problems. And just like with the doctors and abortions, they know what they're doing. You're doing shit to make the people scared
Mhm.
because you they don't know if they're gonna be punished. They don't know if they're gonna lose their teachers' licenses. They don't know if they're gonna get suspended, if they're gonna be under investigation. And so you have accomplished it without actually doing anything. And put like this, let's say you even bring it back. Odds are they're not gonna bring those books back because they don't want those problems.
Yeah, and education is the opposite of ignorance. So a lot of these long-term goals of keeping people ignorant is what I think he's after, and a lot of this legislation is after, to keep people ignorant, because we know that ignorant people typically vote conservative. People who don't go to college, people who aren't exposed to different people and different lifestyles will be like, they're more likely, we just know this from polling and from facts, that they're more likely to be conservative. And so I think they probably rightly see that more education, more diversity is going to lead people away from this. So while they have control, they're going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that kids and stuff are not exposed to this shit.
Yes, yes. Because the whole goal is they want an uneducated populace. Because when the populace is uneducated, they don't make as much money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it real. They don't make as much money. They have babies earlier. They get married earlier.
Right.
They are in the workforce longer, and a lot of their jobs are like your lower paid jobs because a lot of them can't get out of poverty. That's just across the board. And the thing is, this affects everybody. It affects black and brown and other marginalized people more, but
Mm-hmm.
this impacts white people like crazy too, because guess what, the majority of them ain't rich either. And
Mm-hmm.
so this just affects everybody across the board. And it's one of those things that's very, very frustrating, because I just wish that the Democratic Party had the same fight in them that the Republicans have.
Mm-hmm.
Like Republicans are like, no, we don't give a fuck. You gay, I don't like gays. Who gives a fuck? We don't like them niggas. They lock up and they just go. Like, we're not arguing, we're not debating, or anything like that. Let's go. Our side, I don't know. Let me think about it. You know what? Instead of $15, make it $12. What I said, 15, bitch. And then we want to stab each other to death. It's stupid. The goal is the same.
Yeah, and by Democratic Party, I'm assuming you're talking about like Democratic voters, not
Correct.
the necessarily the officials. Because I think a lot of times it's the voters that
Yes.
break down before you even get to the politicians. Like, but also though, it's easier to unite against a type of person and that identity politics. We don't necessarily have that for Democrats. We are the identity politics party. We are the party of
Right.
coalitions. So while we are like we don't have a rallying cry to be like, we need to stop Christians. Like, we can't, that's ridiculous, even though that's what the GOP would claim and claim
Mhm.
to be persecuted. But they can say we want to stop Muslims, and then they really can rally behind that, because as you said, there's get down and lay down. There's no nuance to it. The shit that we want to do, as we actually want to govern, means that you have to have some nuance. But I think the difference is, at the end of the day, with their simple causes, simple slogans and shit, it's just easier for them to get a group of people. But anyway, let's get to this article. The canceled play is called Indecent by Paula Vogel. It depicts a true story of another stage play called God of Vengeance, which was shut down in New York in 1923 on charges of indecency. The Broadway producer of the Yiddish play depicted the first ever onstage kiss between a lesbian couple in American theater. The production at Douglas Anderson School of Arts in Jacksonville was scheduled last May and cast in December. Indecent was to premiere March 1st, coinciding with the 100th anniversary of the ill-fated Broadway show. Senior cast member Madeline Scotty, 17, shared the news of the cancellation in an emotional Instagram video on Thursday night. So, yeah, once again, the idea is all the kids are straight, and the only representation that is okay and that matters is straight representation, and anything else is some sort of pushing of values, which to me is always them giving away the game, right? They're saying we are pushing the values of being straight to kids of all types. We believe in the influential nature of representation,
Right.
which
And
is
we
why
know
we
that it
will not
exists.
allow any.
Right. We know that it exists.
Yeah.
And so what we're not gonna do is let you feel comfortable, because you feel comfortable. All of a sudden we gotta hear all these goddamn opinions. We gotta be open. We gotta let people in. We gotta hear them out. We gotta have conversations. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do all this shit that they like. Shut that shit down. Make it simple. Make it easy. And and like I said, they are really whatever it takes. And the thing about it, it can become very, very frustrating sometimes.
I do wonder if we're going to start seeing more stuff like this next story. Robin Roberts to marry her girlfriend Amber Lane of 18 years after they've been together for 18 years. She announced it on Good Morning America. She finally plans to walk down the aisle with her girlfriend of nearly 18 years, Amber Lane, in 2023. I'm saying yes to marriage. We're getting married this year. She admitted she was hesitating to share the news because she's not said it out loud yet. Roberts is 62 and Lane is 48. They talked about marriage in the past, but put it off once the Plant Juice Oil's co-founder was diagnosed with breast cancer in late 2021. So I think it's interesting that, I guess I don't think this is a reaction. It's obviously a very personal decision that she made, but I do wonder if we're gonna see more people in positions of like fame and celebrity really boldly stepping out to be like, man, I'm tired of this shit. Like, y'all keep persecuting us, y'all trying to keep the kids from seeing this shit. You know what you can't control? Because you might can control a classroom in Florida, but you can't control Good Morning America on every motherfucking day. Like I said, I think it's a personal decision that just happened, but I wonder, as kind of a pushback, if anyone, and I don't think people should feel pressure to do it, but if anyone will be inspired to be like, nah, man, I'm living extra bold. Just the way that, like, after the pushback to people try to ramp up policing, and then you just see more black pushback where it's like, no, I'm publicly coming out to say, fuck what y'all doing. But yeah, I think that's cool for her. I know she's talked in the past about being in the closet and being afraid to like live her truth and all this stuff. So, that's dope for her.
I can definitely see that as people begin to be tired, and as people begin to look around the country and just see all the stripping of their rights, and eventually, they're like, hey dog, like shit that we thought was written in stone, it ain't.
Yeah.
So, I got to get out here and let people know that, they're not alone, and they keep fighting and things like that. So yeah, I think you will see more and more people who have been just living their lives, just making a public statement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's none of our business, but
it's that thing where like, you put me in a fight.
Right.
Like, I was happy to live, and I'm not saying it hasn't always been a fight, but y'all know it's different levels of different type of people that are marginalized. Not everybody is rah with the shit, but it's like, if you keep pushing down on me and my folk, at some fucking point I might need to be encouraged to say something that I wouldn't have before. Right. But
you didn't give me a choice, because like anything else, people get tired of being pushed on. They get tired of being bullied. They get tired of, looking around and seeing these things that are happening around them and to other people that they love.
And when you're saying that I'm bullying you by existing,
right,
you give me no choice. So yeah, and that's a very big position and stuff. And I know that, I mean, to some extent it's a sign of progress that we've come far enough that she's no longer concerned about losing her job based off of this. But at the same time, like, we haven't really, like, she's also coming out in the time of the most tremendous pushback I've seen LGBTQ people getting right now. A woman claims she turned gay after going off the pill.
That's not how that works.
She thought she was straight, but then she stopped taking birth control. She's 30 years old. She took a break from birth control after 15 years of taking it. She had seen a TikTok video about a woman who said the pill was making her feel fatigued and disconnected from life. She identified with that feeling after breaking up with her boyfriend last year. She decided to take a break from the pill, and then everything changed, and she felt like a completely different person. She had more energy. She was excited about life. On top of this, my sexuality was changing. For the first time in my life, I became really sexually attracted to women. I told my friends that I think I was ready to start dating girls.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, but baby, that pill ain't had nothing to do with that. There's a lot of straight people, gay people, all types of people, transgender people, all types of people that take birth control pills. What are you talking about?
But she's saying not taking the pills is what turned her gay. Yeah.
So. I've been on them. I've been off of them. That is not a true statement.
I always feel like behind all this is like some extremely conservative parents.
Yes, making shit up.
No, not making shit up. No, Karen, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying some extremely conservative parents that she had to explain this shit to is like, I don't know.
Okay.
It must have just been, I know I stopped taking as much sugar as normal. I cut down on my carbs. Maybe that's what it was. It really is. It's just,
and the thing is, she might be like, okay, this is what I'm into now. Because, people go through phases in life or whatever it may be. So this might be a transition in your life. And, like you said, you have to give an excuse. You can't just be like, I'm living my truth now. It's, Yeah, guys. Remember that birth control? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Get
But
out of
I
here.
don't know. I mean, we also don't know everything, and there could be some research that proves this. Maybe birth control has been
No,
keeping women straight, and
no.
we need to research.
Mm-mm,
Well, okay, Miss Scientist, you don't need no research. You figured it all out. I got it.
mm-mm. I don't believe I am a woman and I've been on birth control pills and I've been off of birth control pills. That's some bullshit.
Well, that's must be science, and I guess we can move on. It's impossible that there's people doing any research in this into
With
this.
with 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 then people that are gay, women that are gay that start taking birth control pills, they turn straight.
Let's find out. I don't know. While limited research is taking place in this space, some studies have indeed suggested that birth control can affect sexual attraction. Birth control researcher Dr. Sarah E. Hill, PhD, told BuzzFeed that the birth control pill changes women's sex hormones, which means that it affects kill far beyond contraception. There are hormone receptors on virtually all cells in the body, including all major structures in the brain. Because of this, hormonal birth control can have an impact on nearly every aspect of who a woman is. Researchers have only very recently begun to explore the psychological and behavioral effects of the pill, which means that the things we know are far outnumbered by the things we don't. I I feel that because I feel like whenever it's some research on some medicine or some shit that's only gonna be for women, we will throw it out there and be like, I don't know. I guess we'll see in 40 years if it's cancerous or could make you be gay or whatever. So I'm not putting nothing
They
past
just, they
nobody.
just they just be giving us shit. They be like, here's some shit. It may or may not affect your sexuality. We're not even worried about it. We'll find out 50 years from now. Your kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Shit, who knows how we stumble into science? I feel like a lot of this shit is like close enough when it comes to women. Like the side effects on birth control pills be worse than just getting
Nuts. Like,
pregnant half the time. So I don't
right.
fucking
It
know.
it is nuts. It be like you can get blood clots, you can get an aneurysm, you can lose your sight, you can gain weight, you can do all
Yeah,
types of shit.
cancer, death,
Yeah, cancer,
bleeding.
yeah.
Like so, I don't know. As many women as I know, and many people that have told me about their experience on birth control and how unpleasant or just like sometimes downright deadly it can be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not putting it past that it could be something. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I will we'll see, I guess, at some point. But I guess it's just funny to have someone be like, and now I'm listen, now I'm strictly womenly,
Oh,
whatever.
and that's the thing. Put like this. I hope I'm alive when they put the study out because until you prove me wrong, my thing is, and I do understand what they say about hormonal balance and all that stuff. Completely
I know you're
understand
not
that.
willing to hear them out. You just you have your personal experience and you don't give a fuck about the science. I get it. That's your
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're allowed
I,
to feel
I I
that
know
way.
I hate to be biased.
No, just the same way people felt about the vaccines and the science around COVID. They just decided that they didn't want to hear anything that a scientist had to say about it. They were doing our vibes. So don't stop all the research, guys. Karen decided she don't want to hear it.
Keep doing your research. Don't listen to my black ass. All I'm telling you, I'm just one person with a goddamn opinion over here.
Mhm. Virginia restaurant refuses to serve anti-LGBTQ plus organization and ignites a firestorm debate. This is so funny because the anti-LGBTQ organization
They
is
roll deep.
100% for keeping gay people out of everything. But then when you go, hey, well, you can't eat at our restaurant, it's like, that's not fair. I feel oppressed.
Is this oppression?
Right. Metzger Bar and Butchery has already prided itself in being an inclusive environment for people to dine in. The restaurant wrote on Instagram, in 8 years of service, we have rarely refused service to anyone who wished to dine with us. Recently, we refused service to a group that had booked an event with us after owners of Metzger found out it was a group of donors to a political organization that seeks to deprive women and LGBTQ plus persons of their basic human rights in Virginia. We have always refused service to anyone for making our staff uncomfortable or unsafe, and this was the driving force behind our decision. Many of our staff are women and or members of the LGBTQ plus community. All our staff are people that with rights who deserve dignity and safe work environment. We respect our staff's established rights as humans and strive to create a work environment where they can do their jobs with dignity, comfort, and safety.
And I agree. Because all you gonna do is just come in there and fuck up the vibe. That to me this is and this might not be the same thing, but I feel the same way about a lot of people, Republicans and people like these officers that pass these fucked up laws against immigrants and Mexicans and shit like that. Then be like, yeah, let's go to the Mexican restaurant, and then if they fuck around and be like, I'm not gonna serve you, they wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you fucking passing these fucked up ass laws is gonna directly impact them, and you coming in and all of a sudden the whole mood of the restaurant done changed. You know, washed your ass in there.
Well, they're just relying on the freedoms that we've been granted and take for granted all the time. And yet, when theirs are denied, they don't even see the irony in the fact that their entire existence is to deny people freedom based on their sexual orientation or gender. In a blog post on the organization's website, the Family Foundation president Victoria Cobb compared the situation to black people being refused service due to their race during the 1950s and 1960s.
It's not the same.
They, their
The black
their
people been passing
ability
the law.
their ability to understand the struggles of the past while being on the wrong side of the struggles of the present is just uncanny. Like they're like, this is just like when those black students had a sit-in and they were so brave and they were so peaceful and they wanted to sit at a lunch counter, but the whites only wouldn't done it. And I'm like, nigga, you're the whites only people. You're not you're not the counter people.
Right. But like this, and these people, they're not passing the fucked up laws against you.
Right. They're like, listen, my rights as a Nazi were violated. Okay. What about my right to hate who I want to hate?
Shit is not the same.
As Martin Luther King would say.
They love to. I told you them pre-approved Negroes. They love to pull him out. He is number one on the list.
If you stand silent, then you are complicit. Okay.
I choose you, MLK.
Right. Welcome to the double standard of the left, she wrote. Where some
Ain't
believe
no double standard, bitch. Your whole thing is I hate everybody in here. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you should be forced to serve me. But here's the thing. I agree with her. It's a double standard of the left, right? Because we are saying we're an inclusive space. Come on in. But it's also a double standard of your ass because you are saying I don't want LGBTQ people living their lives. And guess what's happening in this restaurant? They ain't here living their motherfucking lives. So yeah, you're not gonna turn me into some fucking slave of yours. Like if it's a double standard on my side, it's because it's a double standard on yours. Right. I'll tell you what, you let yours go first, we'll let ours go.
Come on.
Okay, you stop being with the oppression and crying oppression when you get banned, and then we'll stop telling you can't eat in here.
Right, because guess what? You can go somewhere else. You don't have to eat in. Nobody's forced. Nobody asked you to come here.
Because unlike being black or gay or trans or whatever, you actually can change your fucking mind and just not be a bigot.
Right.
You weren't born a bigot. You weren't there's no mandate on you to have to identify as this. If you just wanted to go in and eat not as the We Hate Gay People Foundation, you would have been having 6-7 plates right now.
Come on.
But you chose this as your identity.
Y'all came in there with pins on and shit. And right. They identified us. Yes.
So all right. Let's move out of this section. I'm trying to look to see some good news and I don't see nothing.
Sounds like you fucked with.
I mean, this section is always kind of the thing where like it erodes you. And hopefully this time I'm just glad that we didn't end it with our normal rant about why everybody needs to go vote. It's just
we done came a long way like them slim ass cigarettes.
Let's just move on out.
Because trust you go down the rabbit hole deep enough, that's what it's gonna turn into.
Move on down to the reggae section. All right.
Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people.
All right, fucking with black people. Y'all know what it is. We talk about the we talk about the stories that make us feel fucked with. We'll assign point scores 0 to 100. This happened after the Super Bowl. Berman.
Also, of course, two African American quarterbacks starting against each other in the Super Bowl for the first time. Fittingly, February 12th is Abe Lincoln's birthday. Here we go with the highlights in case you missed it.
So I don't know if you heard that.
What did I do with Abe Lincoln birthday? Don't nobody give a fuck about that nigga.
It's Abe for Lincoln's birthday, carrying the two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl.
Does he know about Abe Lincoln? The only reason why he quote unquote set us free is for his numbers, not because he love black people. He owns slaves himself. The fuck you talking about, sir?
Yeah, he definitely wanted us to, and this is not a joke, go back to Africa. It's part of his plan.
Right, that was part of his plan. They talked about it.
He's
they
like,
talked about taking us back.
I'm gonna free the black people that we don't own because the South is insurrecting itself against us. So we don't actually own these slaves, but I'm freeing them, and I'm promising them 40 acres and a mule and all this shit. And yeah, the second that they get free, they can go and take their ass back to Africa. Bye.
Going back where they came from.
0 to 100.
Oh, that's 100, and it's actually really stupid. Nobody said anything about Abraham Lincoln. They love to pull that nigga up. Like, ain't y'all glad? Y'all better be glad he set y'all free. Bitch, he set us free out of necessity. He didn't set us free because he wanted to set us free. The fuck you talking about?
Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't on Juneteenth. But yeah, I agree with you. It's 100. Park District cancels controversial cooking camp.
Okay.
The Park District of Oak Park will no longer offer a summer cooking camp for children based on foods found during the transatlantic slave trade. The day camp was pulled following intense public criticism that it glorified this country's painful history and forcefully removing African people from their homelands. The camp was included in the Park District's 2023 summer camp guide. It says your camper will cook and investigate the history and flavors of the transatlantic slave trade. Each day, a camper will discover a new port from the route and understand the significance of slavery on every meal we eat. In a statement, the district apologized for the offensive language used in the description, which, along with the camp's title, was approved by the Park District's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. That's huge. That committee is made up of Park District staff that includes Black, Latinx, and white members. And it says Latinx in the article, so don't direct message me, Metalface. It's not me saying that. The camp was designed to educate participants about culture and the history of African countries from which enslaved people came to the United States, using food as well as art, science, math, and teaching tools with its curriculum based on the learners from the 1619 Project. The inspiration from the camp also came from food historian, cookbook author, and journalist Jessica B. Harris, who chronicled the way in which African cuisine has impacted U.S. cooking due to the transatlantic slave trade in her cookbook, High on the Hog, A Culinary Journey from Africa to America. The camp would have focused on different African countries, beginning with Senegal. Arnold said, while educating campers on the origins of certain foods such as okra, which was brought to the U.S. by enslaved Africans. The instructor is serious, respectful, while illustrating survival as well as connecting history to present day. But yeah, the curriculum was developed for an African-American community south of Dallas by a team of Black women to provide educational summer programs for children whose schools failed to teach them about the genocide of slavery. According to Arnold, the instructor taught the camp in that community for 7 years before coming to Oak Park and pitching it to the Park District. We acknowledge that we should have done a better job of sharing how the class was created and providing more content on the school specifics, on the program specifics. The title, while it worked in another state, was not a good choice for Oak Park, said Arnold. Upset and disappointed at the Park District's spread across the community throughout social media. Others took to news outlets to express their unhappiness. Let's see. The Chicago NBC 5 reported on the camp in a television segment featuring local organizer and teacher Anthony Clark. Wanta Griffin, multicultural learning coordinator for the Oak Park Public Library, was also interviewed. It felt egregious, said Wesley of the camp and its description. It felt like it was reducing the pain and suffering experiences of Black folks to something that was a shadow of the impact enslavement has had on us culturally for hundreds of years. The camp guide was released at the end of January, right before the beginning of Black History Month. So I guess people took that offensively. He said Wesley also said that made him upset. The proximity to Black History Month just makes it worse, but there would never have been a good time for this to happen. In his op-ed and subsequent interview with the Wednesday Journal, Wesley spoke of his desire for a productive path forward in Oak Park, a path that foregoes the emphasis of intentions and instead focuses on the harm done to the Black community. When you're dealing with pain and trauma of an entire race of folks who are still marginalized in the community that is still unwelcoming to them in a large degree, you have to be very thoughtful about how you approach that history.
I feel the same way about this. I'll just decide like I do when we talk about the food, how everybody just is up in arms. I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 100 and 0. It's very, very frustrating because the truth be told, even it's a lot of Black people that want to erase our history. They won't admit it. They won't be open about it. They don't want, because they don't want to be called coons or anything like that. But they don't want to hear anything about our past. They don't want to hear about our sorrows. They don't want to hear about our struggles. They don't want to hear anything that makes them feel bad and makes them feel sad and make their children feel sad and make them feel less than. And a lot of this stems from white supremacy. So, and they will never admit it, because anytime you bring anything up, it would not have mattered when this would have happened. You're going to have a subsection of Black people that's going to be angry. You bring up slavery, no matter what it is, they're going to be angry. And they're just as bad as the other piece, because if it ain't on the pre-approved Negro list, like I said before, everybody is up in arms, because the pre-approved Negro list is the ones that don't make quote unquote everybody feel bad. And so it's one of those things. But this is who we are. This is where we came from. This is our food. This is our culture. This is our history. This is who we are. And everybody is just trying to tear it down and destroy it and stump on it. And it makes me upset, and it makes me hurt. And actually, it's very heartbreaking, because you have people who have dedicated their whole goddamn lives to actually finding out about us, actually find out where we came from and our history and shit like that. Like, you have people who have studied this shit and went into crates and went to cemeteries and all types of shit, so that they could tell us this shit, so that they could share our story, because we are a part of America too. This is the shit that's fucked up. We are part of America too. You do not hear this on Chinese History Month. You do not hear this on Jewish History Month. Everybody else can have their shit, and it's okay. But when it comes to us, everybody motherfucking gets up in their motherfucking feelings, and it's fucking infuriating. From the food to the culture, everything about us is less than. Everything about it, it's something wrong with it. It's something subhuman about it. Like anytime you bring it up, you got white people going, we don't want to talk about it. You got niggas going, we don't want to talk about it. And bitch, when are we going to talk about it? It's very frustrating, because the thing is, from what you're telling me, they wouldn't bullshit. These are people that done their research, done their shit. I would have signed up for the goddamn summer camp. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's like, no, we don't want to teach anybody anything about our history because they might feel bad. Well, bitch, it happened. Reality is reality, and truth is the truth, and truth can stand on its own. Yeah, regardless of how you feel about it.
It has the same effect as getting rid of all the CRT shit to me. Right. I don't see the difference. Like, whether you use Black feelings as an excuse or you use white feelings as an excuse, the only conclusion I keep hearing is anything involving Black history that isn't just some like extremely uplifting lies. Like, you want to teach the same sanitized version of like civil rights and shit that white people want to teach. But the other thing I'm throwing here is this is why I always am so hard on they served us fried chicken people, because they always try to make it seem like they just didn't put the thought into it. Nigga, they put the thought into this. Oh, well, why we got to start with that kind of food? Why we can't talk about our African heritage? We started before slavery. Okay, that's what this was. But look at you. And that Wesley dude, I'm not calling him like a coon or something, although the optics of a Black man shutting this down, going off of what I consider to be very little information, it's not lost on me. But I think it's interesting that, to me, he sounds like a dude that saw a headline, saw a brochure, didn't do any research, didn't care to know. said it hit me a certain way. Therefore, I speak for all black people when I say shut this shit down. And because these organizations have an obligation and they take it seriously, it when done right, to reach out to the community. I think what happens here is that they shut the shit down and just nobody learns about anything for black history or black people or all the curriculum gets shut down. And so the kids won't get anything because there's never like these people are like Wesley is never offering some
An
solution,
alternative, right?
compromise, some alternative other than probably just some shit that white people want to say. And then the other thing I find funny about that is I will place a small piece of the blame on the program, and I think and they've accepted that blame, so I'm not even knocking them for that. But this is what happened with our local story that I followed for a long time, where that man wanted to do a celebration for Juneteenth that was basically making fun of like white slave owners. And of course, it was taken in the most negative light possible. And he ended up losing his job. They ended up actually like taking the plantation and shutting it down. And to their credit, they announced that they are going to reopen it as a educational type plantation. So no more of those like weddings and shit. So I'm cool with that. That was the best case scenario.
Right.
And I said in that case, even though I truly listened to what he said and I believe that man. I don't think he suddenly turned into a coon and was like, I actually hate black people. I think that man was legit in using his platform to educate, but just if you don't do the outreach to the community, unfortunately, these kind of things will be taken as a negative. It's just it's unfortunate. There's just a lot of mistrust and a lot of history that compels people to be untrusting, and I don't blame them for that. I get it, but at the same time, bro, you could have reached out to these people, and once you heard what it was, you could have been part of helping them to reach out to others to be like, no, this is what the program is.
Right. You
Like,
could have explained it
like,
and things
they
like
never
that.
want to be part of the motherfucking solution. They always want to be part of shutting some shit down. And this is one of the reasons I don't really move to anger too fast, because it is such a useful tool for people that want to harm you, watch you harm yourself, or people that want to watch you fuck up long-term goals, because the anger of reading the headline or the brochure is probably what most people are supposed to respond to, and it's like, take this shit down. And then when you sit down with this woman who's like, I wrote High on the Hog, the same fucking Netflix documentary
Right.
everybody
That everybody loves.
this is actually a celebration and love of black people, and our contribution to the culture of America. And yes, it happened through slavery, but that ain't our fault or anything to be ashamed of. If anything, I feel great pride, and to see somebody say that's not good enough, like that's crazy. So I'm with you on this. To me, it's just a Dracarys, and yeah, it feels you nailed it. It feels the same as the fried chicken shit to me. And I when I say that I don't like the fried chicken pushback shit, and people I'm sure to some extent are like, but I do feel uncomfortable with that. I feel you're allowed to feel uncomfortable. Whatever, learning is often uncomfortable. Acknowledging race is uncomfortable. Acknowledging racism is uncomfortable. But at the end of the fucking day, the alternative is never something better. It's always we just not acknowledging it.
Right. We just ain't gonna do shit. There's never an alternative, y'all. And the thing is, what be so fucked up about a lot of times it be black and brown people to be coming up with these ideas, and there's other black and brown people to be shitting on these people for coming up with these ideas. And it's
Jawan just said in the chat that article we talked about with the food, it was a black executive at the which I said it was at the time. I was like, I guarantee you this is what it was. And it was a black executive that worked at that culinary place that came up with that menu to try to like reach out and all this shit. And of course. Yeah,
and it's very frustrating though, because it's one of those things where, let's say, they would have went out to the community, and let's say the community itself would have been like, okay, go ahead and do it. You would have still had people outside of the community that would have been mad and upset for the fact that you did it anyway. So it will forever be a problem. Even people within the community, because of their own biases and their own insecurities and them being scared or whatever the case may be, you're going to have to deal with this. So it's going on. Sometimes you got to put shit out there and be like, fuck it, deal with it.
Well, there's also this thing of like in our minds, and this is just one of my fundamental beliefs, which is like white people do not care that much about us. And
Mm-mm.
I think it's harder for people to imagine that than it is for me, like in general. So in people's minds, when they hear like a program like this, and the people that get mad in their minds, what they imagine is like some white person who just thinks it's funny to fuck with black people through this program, who are like, I'm going to dehumanize and demean these black kids, and I'm gonna say y'all ain't nothing but slaves. And it's like, how many times we have to pull the Scooby-Doo mask off to find it's just a black person who loves us and has done the work and the research.
Right. They
How many
care
times
about it.
how many times do we have to do the same fucking story over and over again, like before we accept that, okay, this is not happening? This thing where like there's an evil racist white people that's like, I know it'll be fun to give the niggers chicken on for Black History Month. We have not discovered that person yet. We have not once. So why do we keep operating as if that is the default? It should be the opposite. We should have to prove that is what is happening before we just get crazy like that. Because this is not even some fried chicken watermelon shit. This is just like, this is literal African history reaching out, and we still are on some like, it's something wrong with it. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know, man. This like, I'm starting to feel about this the way I felt about the whole Tuskegee experiment niggas, where I'm like, yeah, I get where y'all coming from. I'm not finna allow y'all to let my community get poisoned by not getting vaccinated because y'all got feelings and everybody else is too nice to come out and say the truth. They keep being like, your feelings are valid. Nigga,
No, they're not. No.
Feelings aren't facts.
No,
feelings aren't facts, dog. So one of the main problems we have in this country is validating the wrong people's feelings. Sometimes you just have to be like, bro, the facts are over your feelings, and until then, shut the fuck up.
Right. And and the thing is, a lot of times they don't have facts on their side, so they just talking. They just making shit up and talking.
Yeah.
And it becomes very, very frustrating. And it's very insulting. All of the books that are about our food and our culture and our history, all, like I said before, all the people that done all the studying and the research and shit like that, like, it is very insulting to these people who have spent, like I said, their whole lives, decades and decades, finding this shit for you to be like, we don't want to talk about no more. And the thing is, for our ancestors that got their asses whooped, guess what? They just had to deal with it. And so now it's our time to tell people the shit happened. We had to deal with it. Now y'all got to deal with it. So now everybody want to come out up in arms and be like, we don't want to deal with it. Well, bitch, we didn't have a choice, so why should you?
All right. Let's how long have we been going? Okay, let's do some guest the race and then we'll wrap this thing up. But yeah, Dracarys for me. I'm tired.
What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right. Tesla fan driving minivan busted for DUI after rollover accident. A motorist who has a Tesla logo tattooed on his face was driving a 1992. Go ahead. Yeah, on the face, Karen. He was driving a 1992 minivan when he was arrested Friday on a felony DUI count and multiple vehicular charges. Jordan Lindsay, 25, was behind the wheel of a GMC Safari. Now, why wasn't he driving the Tesla?
That's what I'm about to say. Is his tattoo more expensive than his vehicle? What is happening here? The fuck is this? 1992.
He crashed Thursday evening on Route 83 in Elmhurst, a city 20 miles west of Chicago. A circuit court complaint describes a 10 p.m. accident as a single vehicle rollover. He was arrested.
He just out there rolling over.
He was arrested on a felony aggravated DUI count since he was driving with a suspended license due to a previous drunk driving conviction. He was also charged.
Tesla. That's why I got the 1992.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this man owns a Tesla at all. I think he just got a Tesla tattoo.
Me either.
Okay, this is like how you can have an Autobot tattoo, but you ain't owning no. You don't own no
Autobot.
He was also charged with driving an uninsured vehicle, driving an unregistered vehicle, failure to reduce speed to avoid a crash, and driving with a suspended license.
Oh shit, he couldn't even insure it in 1992. Get
Right.
him.
So
When he passed
yeah.
inspection.
Guess the race.
White.
All right, Karen's going white for this Tesla fan. Yeah, it's getting a car logo as a tattoo is wild to me. White South African, says Juwan. White redneck, white trash. The correct answer is white.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot happening. It's business in the front, party in the back, a bunch of tattoos. What is happening here?
You got the green hair like the Joker. Like
His eyebrows look like they gonna flap him. He gonna fly away. What is happening here?
got the Super Bowl tattoo or something going on down there. I don't know what's up with this fan with this dude,
There's
but
a lot happening.
yeah, I think the thing for me is just like what is so aspirational about the Tesla as a, you know what I'm saying? As a brand, like why does it attract so many douchebags? No offense to Andy Klein, I think he's a great man, but you know what I mean, just in general. What is it about as a brand?
Yeah,
like
right. Because the thing is, it was just the cool car to have. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Yeah.
people still like them and things like that. But yeah, it's like a percentage of people where you go, oh, you're just a dick. And then the people go, I'm not a dick. I just like the car.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one.
They're
In
like,
York
fuck
County,
Elon Musk. I just want the car.
a York County man, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay.
A man, he was arrested in the Catawba community in York County, South Carolina, after deputies say he jumped in front of and entered a school bus.
What?
Yeah. You never just been like, let me hop on this bus real quick with these kids?
Mm-mm.
No
Never.
children were, well, actually, I take it back. No children were on board at the time. It was 6:25 a.m.
That's a good
And
thing. They
unless
just
you the
started.
bus
They just
driver.
started the route.
Unless you the bus driver, right? Now you're on here along with this motherfucker. He appeared to be under the influence of drugs, you don't say. And he climbed onto the roof of the bus, entered through the emergency hatch on the top. Also, he took a fire extinguisher and sprayed inside the bus. The bus driver was not injured. He was taken into custody near Poverty Hill Lane and South Anderson Road. He was charged with interfering with the operation of a school bus.
How the fuck he get on the roof? What is happening here? Did he jump down from a tree? I don't understand. How did you get on the roof of a bus?
I assumed he climbed up the bus somehow and got on top of it. But yeah, that's insane. Karen, guess the race.
White.
All right, Karen says he's as white as the powder coming out of that fire extinguisher. Let's see what you say.
on.
Is there a name? Nicholas Trey Hubbard is his name. Impossible White Man, Mrs. Fizzle's broke brother White. You going on jury on now? White, it was a bus. White is giving meth. It's giving meth.
That's what
It's giving meth. Oh yeah, he was white. Yeah, it's definitely some meth mess. Hopping on the bus. Come on, man. This is like I gotta say, meth got the worst PR of all the drugs. Even worse.
Don't it do?
Even worse than crack to me, man. Like somehow meth past crack. Well, I'll just be like, it's certain crimes. I'm like, these motherfuckers, dog. What? I guess maybe it's the best PR because it's like, what could make you want to do a drug that make people do shit like this? It must be the bomb. You know,
Must be great.
like you must be like, oh, this is it right here, because
It's the good shit.
not be your man. Okay. All right, let's go to the final round. I believe Karen is 2 for 2.
Yay.
I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or
anything.
anything in my life. How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to the race. It's time to guess the race.
chucking 360-degree basketball.
All right. Karen's 2 for 2, but how will she finish? A married woman accused of decapitating her lover after choking him in a drug-fueled sex attack has attacked her lawyer when a witness failed to show in court. Taylor Shop.
Are they gonna blame the birth control? They're gonna be like, she got off her birth control. She just decided to just take everybody out.
It happens, okay? We need to research this. Taylor Shaughnessness, 25, jumped her attorney, Quinn Jolly, at around 8:48 a.m. in Green Bay, Wisconsin courtroom, appearing to strike him in the head with her elbow. The lawyer, however, did not seem to suffer any injuries. The altercation apparently came after a witness failed to show up to testify on her mental state. And she said, don't worry. Everybody in here about to be a witness.
Everybody in here about to know what my mental state is.
Don't worry. We don't need no experts. Y'all all about
no experts. Y'all all about to see where I am mentally.
Did I do it? Let me show you how. She is charged with first-degree homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault after the victim's own mother discovered her son's severed head in a bucket covered with a towel in her home.
Holy shit!
According to police, Shaughnessness admitted to giving oral sex and using a sex toy on her victim after he was dead. She is pleaded not guilty by reason of mental illness or defect. The outburst came during a proceeding to determine whether Shaughnessness is fit to stand trial. And the answer is no.
No. The answer is no.
Jolly had been expected to introduce testimony from an expert witness in the court on Tuesday, but he instead told the judge that the witness had not yet completed his report. The lawyer asked for 2 more weeks for the testimony to take place. Walsh reluctantly agreed to postpone the trial. That is when Shaughnessness was caught on camera attacking Jolly. I guess Shaughnessness was giving him the business.
Come on.
The video from the Green Bay courtroom shows Shaughnessness launching out of her seat, trying to grab at Jolly's arm before apparently striking him in the head. Sheriff's office quickly sprang into action and tackled her to the ground, struggling to keep her down as she tried to squirm out of his grasp. Stop, the officer kept telling her as she tried to kick herself free and wrapped her foot around a cord connected to his utility belt. About a minute later, a court employee told people at the hearing to clear the courtroom, which was about a quarter full with media, other attorneys, and a supporter of Shaughnessness. In the meantime, 2 other sheriff deputies could be seen arriving to tackle the 25-year-old. A woman supporting Shaughnessness also tried to calm the defendant down. Together, they were able to get her to calm down and sit her up against the door before leading her out. When the court finally resumed about 10 minutes after the attack, the Jolly informed a judge on the case he planned to file a motion asking to be removed as her lawyer.
Shit, I would too.
Yeah, you goddamn right. I ain't signed up for this.
I did not sign up to be attacked.
But
yeah, since she's not here, I'm no longer on this case. I don't know what she gonna do. Court appointed attorney, I don't know, but it ain't gonna be me.
Right. If found competent, the trial will proceed as scheduled, but if she's found not competent to stand trial, the case will be put on hold as she receives additional psychiatric treatment. She was arrested last year after Shadrach Therian's mother found the severed head in the bucket. His severed head in the bucket. So she called the authorities about 3 a.m. February 23rd last year. So they just go into the crime. All right, Karen, guess the race.
White.
Karen's going with white. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Wicked White Wendigo Woman, the Charlize Theron serial killer movie White, hot-blooded Latina, says Jawan. White, says Jane. And we're running out of people in the chat, so I guess that's enough guesses. The correct answer is white. And I think Jawan missed it. I mean, she could be white passing, but
with the last 2, it's something about them neck tattoos, ain't it?
Yeah, and this is her attacking her lawyer.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Boy, she was on him quick.
wasn't she? Shout out to everybody that was mad comfortable in that room. Except the lawyer.
I know ain't nobody getting their asses up.
Rachel, call.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that my goodness. She got the devil in her.
Something happening. Something is happening.
It was
'Cause that was just out of nowhere.
Oh my God. It's coming out of her. I can call my father Jesus. Jesus. How I love him and trust him.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to the last thing. Talk about sword ratchetness. A woman, 26, is arrested after waving a sword inside of a New Jersey Dunkin'
Donuts.
Yeah. New Jersey City, New Jersey. Officials arrested a woman who waved a sword inside of a New Jersey Dunkin' Donut coffee Monday morning. Officers said approximately 10:30 a.m. The 26-year-old woman, who was described as possibly being emotionally disturbed, what gave her away? Walked into the coffee shop located in Jersey City, began waving a sword, terrorizing customers and staff inside. Jersey City spokeswoman Kimberly Wallace Scalcione said there were no injuries reported. Maybe she was looking for Ben Affleck. I don't know. The woman was charged in the robbery, terrorist threats, and possession of a weapon. Additional charges may be filed, and an investigation remains ongoing. Oh my goodness. That just kind of changes what that one dude was saying.
Yeah.
Always go to Dunkin' Donuts, never Starbucks, okay? Thank you,
We just wanted to ask you.
Sounds like that's not the plan anymore. They got swords up in there.
Right?
All right, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Yes, sir.
Be on the lookout for your gift tomorrow. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Either gonna be a day late, 2 days early, or a day late. I love you, sexy.
Love you too. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Talk to y'all later. Peace.